Hello everybody, it's Mystic and welcome back to my library. Today I am giving you my thoughts on the Sunnyside demo. It was actually requested that I take a look at this demo by the devs, so I wanted to give it a look. I played through all 10 days of the demo, and so I wanted to give you my opinions on it and my thoughts. So that's what this is, and let's get started. Sunnyside is an upcoming farming / cozy game developed by RainyGames and published by Merge Games. The demo is currently available for free on Steam for everybody to try. So if you're interested in this game at all, I definitely recommend going to check it out yourself. You get to play through 10 full days of the game, and that kind of helps just give you a little glimpse into what this game is all about and help to give you an idea of whether or not you're going to enjoy playing it. One thing that's really cool about this game is that it actually is if a farming game and a Persona game had a baby. And as somebody that absolutely loves the Persona series, I love this. The art style is extremely reminiscent of like Persona 5. The way that the shops work and the art style, everything is just really Persona vibey. And I absolutely love that. I've never seen a farming game do this before. And it's just combining like two of my favorite genres, which is JRPGs and farming games into one. And I just think that that is really cool. So right off the bat, like the graphics sold me. I was really excited to see the Persona vibes. So if you're like Persona, I think that you might actually really enjoy this game as well. Another thing that's really great about this game is that it is extremely inclusive. There are a lot of different options when you're making your character so that you can make them literally however you want. You can choose their pronouns, you can choose how they look, and it's perfect. Honestly, and I'm gonna throw a little shade at The Sims 4 for a second. It does character creation better than The Sims 4 does, which I know the bar's a little low because Sims 4's character creation compared to, Sims 3 is not it. It's definitely more fleshed out than The Sims 4. I think it's incredible. There's a lot to it. So I will say that not everything is available in the demo, or at least I didn't encounter it, but I also spent a lot of time hyper-focusing on the gardening and farming aspect of the game. There is a lot to it. There's lots of different things that you can do. There's photography, there's fishing, there's mining, there's combat. I didn't get to the combat, but the combat looks really cool. I don't even know if combat's available in the demo. I could be completely wrong, but I was looking at a video of it, and it looks kind of like Persona turn-based combat style, but you're using cards, which I thought was really cool because card-based battles are really interesting. I'm not very good at them, but I feel like this one looks like it's not going to be too rough. So I do love that this is a turn-based battle system and not just a simple, fight with your sword and carry on like, the other farming games tend to do. This one is turn-based, which I feel like is going to be a lot less stressful for me because I'm not always a fan of combat in farming games. I think this one's going to be perfect because it is more like a JRPG kind of like turn-based style. I did encounter a really interesting bug while I was playing in the demo, and honestly, I probably did this to myself because I was silly. I was at somebody's shop before closing, and I had accidentally brought my bike into the shop with me. And then the doors, the store owner left. So I tried to leave, but apparently you can't open doors while you're on your bike. So I got stuck for a second. I tried to go off my bike, and then I tried to open the door and then leave, but then the doors closed when I tried to leave on the bike. And then I tried to turn around and go out a different door, and my bike got stuck on a desk and I fell. It was a huge mess because then I couldn't figure out how to get back up, which there is a way to do that. I believe you have to press space, but I didn't know that at the time. And I was just going through it inside this person's shop, trying to leave with my bike, not remembering that I could simply just click the home button, I think it was, to leave in case I got stuck. So I forgot about that. But then I ended up doing that afterwards, and I left just fine. But moral of the story, don't bring your bike inside, which I feel like that's probably common sense, but I didn't do that. So I got stuck, and it was like a whole comedy of errors for 20 minutes trying to get out of this building with my bike until I realized that I can just teleport out. And then my bike ended up going back there too, because you could teleport your bike too. But I made my life so difficult doing that. So don't ride your bike indoors. Otherwise, you should be fine. The only other complaint that I have, and I do think that this is something that's being worked on because I think this is something that other people have mentioned as well. The town of Sunnyside itself feels a little empty, especially when you're exploring or you're riding your bike or you're walking around town. There's not a lot of people just around. Like, you will encounter some of them, but it's harder to just come up on them randomly. Like, if you go to the city, there's like a city area that you can go to. It's bustling. You can see people all over the place. But when you're in the town of Sunnyside, it's a little quiet. And I think that is by design. It's not supposed to be like a bustling hub of people, but it is a little harder to find people to interact with just going about your day in town, because there's rarely people just, you know, strolling down the street or riding their own bikes. They're mostly like inside doing their own thing. But I guess like that's not a huge issue because, again, it's not meant to be a very busy town. It just felt a little empty to me. So I'm hoping that there are other ways to like find people, you know, going about their day in the full release of the game. But when you do actually encounter people, the social aspect of this game is so cool. It's not just like you're talking to people outside in the world like you would in any other farming game. You actually get their phone number and you put it into your smartphone, and then you can like text with them, you can call them, you can set up hangouts, you can set up dates. It's very Persona. And it reminded me a lot of Persona 5, which is actually the only Persona game that I've played at the moment. I'm going to be working on that. And I just loved that I could like text with people and like set up things to go and meet with them later on. There's a whole lot that you can do on your smartphone that's not just for the social aspect either. The smartphone is literally everything for this game. You get your guides, you get your access to your drone, which I really should have done more with, if I'm being honest, but you get access to your drone there. You can buy seeds, you can summon your bike. There's all sorts of stuff. Your phone is literally everything. And again, most farming games don't take place in a modern setting. So the fact that we have a smartphone at all is very cool. And I love that it's used for all of this. Speaking of the smartphone, another thing that was very cool for me. So I should mention, I garden in real life as well as in game. I do a lot of gardening. I follow some gardening YouTubers. And one garden channel that I've been watching for years is Epic Gardening. And it's run by a guy named Kevin. And imagine my surprise when I go into the Plant Daddy app, which is one of the apps that we can get in the game on our smartphone. And it basically gives us all sorts of information about seeds and how to grow them and what time of year to grow them. And like, you can even buy them from there. Imagine my surprise when I see in the corner an icon, avatar, if you will, of Kevin from Epic Gardening. Apparently, the devs of this game worked with him to learn about seeds and how they grow and how like different seasons affect different things. So he actually put a lot of input into this. And as somebody that has watched his channel for years, I thought that was so cool. And I even kind of fangirled a little bit because I was like, oh my God, somebody that I watch outside of the gaming sphere is in a game that I'm playing. That's so cool. And so like Epic Gardening is actually part of this game. Like you can even see the logo whenever you do the Plant Daddy app. And I think when you buy seeds, it's technically like his store, if I remember correctly. But I just thought that was so cool. As somebody that does garden IRL and who has been following Epic Gardening for years, I was like, oh my God. And I love that they were getting like actual advice from somebody that is an expert at this, because you know that now that you're looking at all of the plants and how they grow, that they actually have legitimate info on all of that. So that's just really neat. The other cool thing, like I said about phone, is that you can do a lot of socialization on there. You can set up dates. There are romanceable characters in this game. I don't know exactly which ones are romanceable, but the other thing that's really cool is that every single story of every single character in this game is like interwoven with each other. So everybody has a story, but it's also like playing a larger role in Sunnyside itself. So as you get to know people, you get to know more about the story of Sunnyside, and it's just so cool. I feel like the story and like the social aspect are gonna be huge in this game, and I'm like really looking for that in a farming game, because I feel like a lot of the time you're just like giving gifts to people and getting their hearts up, but this one just feels more organic. It feels more like something that would happen in real life, and really, really love that. I did say I mostly focused on gardening when I did my demo. There is so much more to this game than just gardening. There's mining, there's fishing, there's photography. Again, there's the social aspect. There's so much more than just gardening. And I think that that's really cool because it's more of a life sim than a farming sim. It incorporates everything. And I think that that's really nice because, again, aside from like certain games, you don't really see that a lot in the farming sim genre. This is much more of a social sim and a life sim than just a farming sim. And I'm very excited to see where they go with that. During the demo, you actually get a chance to participate in a farmer's market fair. It happens on the weekend. I can't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday. I thought it was very neat. It was kind of reminiscent of if you've ever played Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life, you get to open a market stall and you can sell stuff there. This one is so much better than the way Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life did it, because you have to like sit there and like babysit the people that are watching and looking at your stall. The way that this one is, you just put stuff into your stall and then you can go off and like talk to other people at the market. You can get to know people. I did so much socializing at this market because I got to meet a whole bunch of people that I didn't see throughout town. And this is what I was saying before, where like it's hard to find people in town. Everybody's at the market. So it's so much easier to find people to socialize with at the market. So I just set my stall, I let it go, and then I went and I talked to everybody at the market, and it was just so fun. I loved the market so much. Like I got to really like just use my social skills and talk to everybody. I got to meet people. They told me a whole lot of stuff about themselves. I got to figure out who was like in charge of what at the market, like who sells the baked goods, who sells the seeds, who sells this at the fish. I got to meet the fishmonger there because I couldn't find him the rest of the time. I wasn't going far enough apparently, but like there was a whole bunch of people that I got to meet there that I couldn't actually find outside of that. One other thing that is really cool about the gardening aspect, because like I said, I did focus a lot on this. You're not just able to plant your seeds in the ground like you would in literally any other farming game. You have options to plant them in containers. You can do raised beds, which I do raised beds in real life. So I thought that was really neat because I like having my stuff like super organized when I am gardening. And I feel like raised beds really allow for me to like keep things contained, and I can have things in certain rows, and it just keeps things a lot neater. So I didn't get a chance to really look into raised beds during the demo. I'm not actually sure if they were available, but I'm really looking forward to doing raised bed gardening in this game because I think it would feel a lot like I'm doing it in real life. Like I said, that's how I do it. Another thing that's really cool is you don't need a watering can. The devs made sure that you can actually use a hose, and you can take that hose and you can move it around your farm and you can water things as you go, which just makes things so much easier than having to constantly fill up a watering can. Now you do have to keep like a certain amount of water like within the storage. I don't know if you can change that later. You might be able to, but in the demo you couldn't. But it's a lot of water. Like you can still really water a lot of your farm without needing to refill it, which just makes it so much easier than dealing with a watering can. If I'm being honest, it made things a lot simpler. Another thing that I thought was really funny, because I feel like Sunnyside's a little bit tongue-in-cheek when it comes to how they marketed their game, because like they're trying to basically say we're not like other farming games, and I really do think that they are legitimately not like other farming games. But the disclaimer on the Steam website really made me laugh because they're just kind of making fun of other farming games, and you know which one it's going to be. I'm going to read it and you'll know exactly which one I'm talking about. It's great. Like I just thought it was really funny. Disclaimer: Sunnyside is a farm sim with no watering cans, shipping containers, gift-based socializing, mayonnaise machines, or endless walking. I wonder which one they're talking about. I mean, honestly, they're talking about all of them, but they're talking about one specifically, and you know which one it is. But it's true. Honestly, you don't have to do any of that. I will say the walking is a little endless, but I feel like they're going to be working on that. And plus, once you get your bike, it makes things a lot easier too. There are no shipping containers. You sell things to the stores that you want to sell them to, or you just hold on to everything and sell it at the market, which happens once a week on the weekends. And yeah, no watering cans. Makes it really easy. Yeah, no gift-based friendship making either. It, like I said, it happens organically. You're gonna get to know people as you just live your life. I think you can gift things, but it's not going to be like Stardew, where you have to give gifts in order to increase somebody's relationship score. It's going to just be more of an organic, like hanging out with them, going to lunch with them. And like, there's all these different hangout options. Again, very similar to Persona and how you get people to become friends with you there. You would go out for lunch with them. You would make some time for them to like hang out with you. And there's all sorts of different places within the game that you can go and hang out with. Like you can go to the museum, you can go to the city, you can go to a restaurant. There's all these different choices. And then you have like different social interactions within those areas to do all of that. Now this I did not get a chance to do in the demo. Again, I'm not sure if it was in the demo, but it is on like the previews and trailers and stuff on Steam. So it is something that's going to be in the game at launch. So that wraps up my thoughts on the Sunnyside demo. I am so excited for this game. I have been watching it for several months now, and as soon as I saw the Persona vibes, I was just like, give me this game right now. Shut up and take my money. I need it in my life, and I cannot wait for it to come out on June 14th. I am definitely going to be doing a full review of the game once it comes out and the full release is together. Probably won't be for a couple weeks after the game releases because I really want to sink my teeth into it and play it. Hopefully you enjoyed this little preview of the Sunnyside demo. I, again, can't wait to see more. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.